Is coin grading a scam? Now I'm talking about submitting coins to the coin grading companies like PCGS, NGC, ANACS, or ICG. And how do coin dealers make money? How do I make money sending coins off for grading? Now, I'm going to talk about how I do it. There's all kinds of ways you could do this. I'm just going to go over one way that I did it recently. I sent 57 coins to ANACS, and I'm going to show you my list, and we're going to talk about what I can make off this. What's the potential? As far as coin grading being a scam, you have to prove intent, and these companies are in business. It's not good business to be a scam. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of gray areas. You have to prove intent. But for all intents and purposes here, you got a coin that's decent and you've paid a certain price for it, and you add the grading fees and a potential grade, and if that is less than what the coin sells for, how is that a scam? You submit it, you get your grade, and you're in business. The problem I see is people taking common stuff that they see some video where a registry quality coin sold for thousands of dollars, and they think every coin they have, or at least coins in mint sets or proof sets, should grade that high, and they submit it and they don't get the grade, so then they say, oh, it's a scam. That's not how it works. Is there gradeflation? Is there, some market protection? Maybe there is. I don't know. But the point of it is you can't grade everybody's coin they think's mint state 68, mint state 68. It don't work that way. So before we get started, before we take a look at the numbers here, start crunching some numbers, I want to introduce something that we purchased yesterday. We purchased 900 of these 2021 St. Helena's 1 ounce .99 silver. Now these are beautiful coins. They're from mint sealed rolls. We had one roll opened up to check them out, and they'll be over there on portsmouthcoinshop.com if you're interested in any of them. Okay, so I submitted 57 coins to Annex. As you can see, I had a 1909 SVDB, not genuine, added S mint mark. Now I knew it wasn't authentic. One of the guys that worked for me asked if I'd go ahead and send it off just in case. So I went ahead and did that as, just to see. I told him that it looked fake to me. Looked, counterfeit. Well, it's not counterfeit, but it just added S. So it's a real 1909 VDB, but someone added an S. So anyways, we'll take a look at that. Like I said, we're going to look at these coins. Part 2 of this video, we'll be looking at these coins. I will show them. There's a bunch of really nice coins in here, as you can see. And this is what I do. Okay, so I have all these coins, and I buy collections all the time. So I'm at an advantage in a sense because I have a brick and mortar coin shop. So I buy coins. I buy all kinds of them. But what I do is, and this is the clincher for me, I'm going to make so much money on a collection. What is left is profit. If I use some of these coins as profit, in other words, pull them out, don't count them in with the rest of them, that way when I do send them off, I have $0 in each one of these coins. But for the sake of legalities and to make this simple, I do put a value on each one of these. So it's not that I don't have anything in them, but I have less in them than you would typically see. As far as if someone brought in an 11D that looked like it was AU58, I wouldn't pay him $5 for it, $10 for it. I'd pay more for it if I thought it was problem free. But in this example, I put down $10. I have $10 in all of these cents, $10 in all these nickels. The halves, I'll have, $10 in them too. And then I've got some silver dollars in this that I also, will have maybe $25 in. And that's how I figured it up. So that's what I do. You buy 10 coins, you sell 7, 8, 9 of them. Whatever's left is your profit. So it can be the coins can be your profit. So when you submit them, the only thing you have is grading fees, and technically, and that's as far as shipping is concerned, that too. So really that's all you have in those coins. That's the best way of doing it. A lot of people call it booty, okay, artist booty and different things like that. Like when you go out and do a job and you got some leftover materials. I mean, that's free material, right? Because it's already been paid for. That's all I'm doing here. Sweeten the pot, whatever you want to call it. But anyways, we're going to look at some of these numbers. I wrote down the retail. Now this is PCGS retail. These are Annex coins. So they're going to sell for less than PCGS prices. They're going to really have to look the grade though if they sell for this price. But in reality, the market dictates that Annex coins are going to sell for less. It's unfortunate because I don't see much difference in the grading. I mean, I don't really see any difference in the grading, honestly. So let's take a look. So when we're looking at this whole submission with shipping and all, it cost me $810 to grade all 57 coins or have them all looked at. Okay, that was the fees total. Now it could be 1,000. We could round it up. It doesn't really matter. We're just playing with numbers here. I had 12 coins. Like I said, I had the silver dollars at 25 a piece. I can really say I didn't have anything in them, but I have to do something because when I put them in the system, they have to have a value on them because I do my taxes and all that. So we're saying $300, 12 times 25. 45 of them that's left at $10 a piece, that's 450. So technically, you basically have $750 in those coins. Then you have the $810, and that comes to this number right here, $1,560. Like I said, I could have messed up my math here, but even if we had, 2,000, you can take that off this, and your $5,594 is the potential profit. Now, they're going to sell for less because they're an annex holder. Some of them are problem coins, as you can see. Okay, there's some of them got a little scratch here, but most of them are problem-free coins. But we do have a few here. So we're looking at the potential profit. So let's say I only make 4,000 on this. Let's say I only make 3. It is well worth the effort. When you take some of your profit and you roll it back in, and with the potential of making more. So you look at some of these coins, and a 39D that I might have paid 35 or 40 bucks for. I don't know. Like I said, you don't know if it's going to be AU58. Like these here and it being AU58, and I thought they was going to be mint state. I had 3 of them here. I thought they were all going to be 63, 64, but they didn't turn out that way. So you don't always know. Sometimes you just have to a shot in the dark, and it ended up getting 64, not 63. So that's another thing. So it's kind of hard to say, look, I'm going to pay you 150 bucks. I'm going to send it off for grading, and it should be a 64. I wish it was that easy to do, but it's not. Unfortunately, I can't be like that. You run yourself out of business because if it gets an AU58, then you're really putting yourself in a bind. Especially if you buy, a whole roll of 20 or a whole complete collection or something like that. So there you have it. That's the reason why I can send some coins off and some coins that you would typically not send off. When we look at these coins in the next video or another video here, we will talk about why I sent certain ones off, or at least what I thought about certain ones. Some of these are experiments. Sometimes you just want to test the waters and just see what the grading companies will do. And why not if you only have a minimal amount of money in the coins? Like I said, I'm a coin dealer, so yes, I have this in my budget. So thanks for watching my latest video. And I hope this helped you in some way, or maybe opened your eyes a little bit to some things and what goes on here, kind of behind the scenes thing, what I do. And have a great day.